Successful Gardener. I'm Lauren Hill, North Carolina Cooperative Extension Horticulture Agent. Today I have a guest with me, Dr. Jeff Gillman, and we are at the beautiful UNCC Botanical Gardens. So Jeff, thanks for having us out today.
Thank you guys so much for coming. It's great to see you.
So we are in the nice, cozy, and warm greenhouse today, and Jeff has an excellent podcast called The Plants We Eat. Do you want to tell us a little bit more how the podcast came to be and what it's about?
Sure, I'd be happy to. Well, you know, people connect with plants in many different ways, and most of us, while we love pretty flowers and we love huge trees, they don't really connect with those in a personal way. So what we wanted to do is a podcast where we can talk to people in a way that really meant something to them, and we thought that was food.
Yes.
So we talk about all the different plants plants that we eat. Everything from pineapples to coffee to chocolate.
All these foods that we enjoy every day have something in common. So the coffee, the pepper, the pineapple, are those all from North America?
Basically none of them are from North America. I mean, you think about the land in North America that's used for crops, about 1% is native fruits or native foods.
Yep.
Things like maple syrup. Maple syrup is native. Blueberries are native. Then you get into things like pawpaws. Well, cranberries are native. So cranberries. But other than that, there's just not a whole lot that's that we use for food that's native up here.
So coffee is one of the things that most Americans probably have every day.
I've already had mine. You?
Yep.
All right.
So
there you go.
Where's coffee from?
Well, it was first really discovered as a useful food in Ethiopia.
Wow.
Believe it or not. Yep. Very neat plant. One of the ones that I find more interesting is chocolate.
Yes.
In fact, you know, we can take a look at the chocolate tree, which we have right here. We have this here so that we can, of course, talk about chocolate. But one of the interesting things to me is that you may have heard that it's got caffeine. There's actually no caffeine in chocolate.
Really? That's good to know, because the other night I had a lot of chocolate before bedtime and couldn't go to sleep. So.
Well, it has something called theobromide, which is very similar to caffeine, but not quite the same. The interesting thing about that compound is that it's extremely toxic to dogs and particularly to bears.
Yeah.
You know, there's actually an interesting article from about 2014 where some hunters were using it to bait the bears, and they baited bears with, I believe it was 40 pounds of chocolate donuts that actually killed the bears. They were poisoned by the theobromide.
Oh my goodness.
Now you know.
The poor bears. If only they had known better.
Over here, I'd love to show you some of these other foods we have in this room. So this is, I think, one of our more interesting plants right here. These are actually peppercorns. Peppercorns start green like this, and they're actually picked when they're immature. If you'd like to try, there's a peppercorn.
Excellent.
If it's too hot after you bite into it, you can spit it out.
It's much more potent than what we get at the grocery store.
It is. So you pick them green, they dry out, and that's your peppercorn. Now you've seen some red peppercorns. These actually mature to a red color, but the red isn't used as frequently as the green.
I've seen pink peppercorns. Is that not a red peppercorn, or is it different?
Not. It's not. That can actually come from a different species. It could come from this, but usually it comes from a different species of plant. Now over here, we actually have, as I mentioned before, that's the chocolate.
Great.
But from this position, we can actually see.
You have a pod up there to show
We have a
us?
tiny little pod right there.
Ooh.
You can see right in there.
It's a little baby pod.
Yep, and eventually that'll mature
Wow.
to something about this size. And this is something an art student did for us a little while ago. This is a little bit.
Very good replica.
It is a pretty good replica. A little misshapen, but artistic license and all that.
Yeah.
Let me set this down, and then more recently we've been doing the bugs we eat because, as humans, we love our protein. Over the years, we are probably going to more of an insect-based diet.
Wow.
Now you know. So
Inside scoop at UNCC
there you go. We're definitely going to go to more insects. So let me show you a really interesting thing that we have.
You baked some cookies for me last night, didn't you?
I did bake some cookies. These are cricket cookies made with cricket flour.
Looks like a chocolate chip cookie. Now let's see if it tastes like a chocolate chip cookie. A peanut butter chocolate chip cookie.
Yep.
It's pretty good, Jeff.
Well, thank you. I worked very hard on these, and
You got me to eat crickets.
yep, this is actually a protein bar for the day.
Wow. You've covered quite a bit of topics on your podcast. Apples, rhubarb, pawpaws.
Wow, I'm impressed. You
Yeah,
really
I'm
remember
a
a lot
fan.
of. Well, thank you.
I'm a very, very devoted fan. Anything about horticulture and history, and then if I get to eat something, I'm pretty happy with it.
Even if it's
So,
got
very
crickets in
happy
it.
today, yeah. So what are the hours at the garden if you want to come visit, Jeff?
Sure. Hours from Monday through Saturday are going to be 9 to 4, and then on Sunday we're open from 1 to 4.
Excellent. So you could come out any time of the year, even in the summer, and enjoy the garden, right? I
Yeah.
feel like there's some shady spots out there.
There are some great shady spots out there. Of course, we keep the greenhouse portion cooled. There is something going on out here every single season. So you've got to drop by at least 4 times a year, and preferably
Absolutely.
8. Yeah.
Well, and y'all do an excellent job of highlighting the plants that are blooming when you come to the garden. Right when you enter the greenhouse, you see an excellent display of what you might see out in the garden today. So Jeff, I want to thank you for your time today. I've enjoyed looking and eating and smelling all the beautiful plants in the greenhouse today. Thanks for tuning in to Successful Gardener. If you would like to reach me, you can reach me by email or phone. I'm Lauren Hill with North Carolina Cooperative Extension with Successful Gardener, and we'll see you next time.